What's up everyone? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Before we begin the video, we just want to say a big thank you for supporting us during this year and allowing us to keep traveling. It's good that you've been enjoying all of our videos and that we're able to live this dream, traveling around and making videos for you guys.
So we decided to make this video to do a kind of a recap of our year, of our 2024. And we're gonna go over the places that we visited and also talk about our favorites and the highs and lows of our year.
We do get asked that question a lot, people saying what have your favorite countries been during the year and stuff. So yeah, we can cover it all in this video. So overall we visited 28 countries and 17 of those were new. So it was quite a busy year for us.
Yeah. Only now that we gather all the countries and I counted all the countries that I was like, wow, that's too much. That was an amazing year, but yeah, a lot of countries.
So we started off our year visiting Morocco. Previously, we had only ever visited Egypt in Africa. And even though we loved Egypt, it was a bit of a hassle with all the hustlers and kind of like scammers and stuff, people bothering you in the street. And we had also heard that Morocco was like that. So we were kind of worried about going there because we thought it might be similar to Egypt, but we were actually very surprised and we had a completely different experience there.
Yeah, we loved Morocco and we think that's maybe because I look Moroccan, so we had a very nice experience, very relaxing. We were surfing there as well, so it was an amazing trip.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on the coast, like Carol said, surfing. Even besides that, they had some amazing cities. The Moroccan architecture and art is absolutely fascinating. You have the souks too. And we even visited some mountain town, Imlil, which was really cool. We were able to do some like hiking there. So Morocco really surprised us.
And after Morocco, we went to Namibia, and it was also amazing. Some of the most epic stuff that we've seen this year, like the Sossusvlei and Dadvlei. It was really cool, and we also got to do self-drive safari, so that was amazing too. And yeah, we just loved Namibia. We spent, I think, 2 weeks there, around that.
Yeah, it was mainly just like driving around in the wilderness, but we got to see so many animals that we've never seen before. And the main reason that we went was for Dadvlei that Carol just mentioned, which are these gigantic orange sand dunes. I think they're some of the biggest sand dunes in the world. So that was the main reason, and it was definitely worth visiting because of that. After Namibia, we went down further to South Africa, mainly just to visit Cape Town. And once again, we did a really good safari there. We even got to stay in kind of like a luxury tent, so that was really nice. And then the other days we spent more time in the center of Cape Town and driving around Cape Peninsula, which is probably one of the most beautiful places that we've ever visited.
Yeah, it was really cool. And it also reminded us of Rio de Janeiro, which is where I'm from, so that's an extra special place because of that too.
And then after South Africa, we had kind of our most negative experience probably of the year, which was when arriving in Mozambique, which is also in that region. So basically on arrival, we had to deal with some corrupt immigration officers, charging us like double for the visa. And then because we had some issues, they actually took our passports from us and we entered the country without our passports. We didn't have our passports for 2 days. And then we went back and then it was like the same deal again when they was trying to create problems to try and get more money out of us basically. And yeah, we did end up making a video about that nightmare scenario, and if you check the comments you'll see that just so many people had those same kind of issues, getting bribed by police and stuff. So yeah, that was a really bad start, but then the rest of the trip was actually amazing.
Yeah, we loved everything that we saw in Mozambique except for that time in the capital. But yeah, we loved Tofu and also the other place,
Vilankulo.
No, amazing. But yeah, the beginning of the trip, it wasn't ideal.
Yeah, the beaches are beautiful. The people are so nice as well. So it's such a shame for them that they have to deal with this kind of like corruption from the people that are in power. It's really holding their country back. they could have way more tourists because the country is so beautiful.
And after Mozambique, we actually went to a very different place from all the places that we were visiting in the beginning of 2024, which was Japan. And we had a big culture shock, as expected. Japan was a country that we were wanting to visit for a long time. It was like very high on our list, and we finally got to visit it. And it was, I think it was worth the hype, definitely.
We ended up spending, I think, 6 weeks there.
Yeah, 5 or 6 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, we were with my parents, so that was really cool exploring Japan with them. And we did all the major touristy things like Tokyo, Nara, Osaka, Kyoto. But then we also went to some like hidden gem places. So one was called Kusatsu, which was an onsen town. And it was kind of high up in the mountains and even snowed there, which we weren't expecting. So you'd have the contrast of like the steam coming out of the onsens and yeah, it was just so amazing. And then we did something a bit different, which was to go to Okinawa, which is quite far away, some islands, like tropical islands. And a lot of people that go to Japan don't see this side. So that video, I think that was actually the most successful video of the year.
Yeah, in terms of views, yeah, it was one of the, I think it was the most viewed video of 2024. And it's funny because at the same day we had the situation where there was like this tsunami warning, which it was very scary. But we still decided to make the video about how amazing those places were and not focus on the tsunami thing. And still we got a very nice amount of views, so yeah, that was good.
And yeah, just an amazing place. It was kind of interesting seeing like the Japanese culture, but in like a tropical, almost like Caribbean looking setting. So that was definitely one of the highlights too. And then besides that, we just always love like Japanese food. Yeah, just the Japanese cultural things, anime, all that. So just seeing it all there was incredible. And then after Japan, we hopped over quickly to China. It was a quick trip, mainly just to visit Beijing, Shanghai, and Macau. And we visited there because we found out that in some of the cities you can just get a 6-day visa on arrival. You don't have to apply for a visa before, so it's quite easy. And 6 days in each city is quite a long time. So China really surprised us because we didn't really know what to expect. Obviously in the media, you usually hear a lot of more like negative things, makes it sound like they're very like controlling and stuff. But when we were there, we actually had, I think, the opposite experience. I think first we were worried of what we'd be able to film with the camera and stuff. But then we quickly realized that they don't actually care about anything. Like all the people there have the cameras out. They're even like taking pictures of the military at the places. And even when we go to like museums and stuff, you could film everywhere. They literally didn't have any rules almost, so
Yeah.
It was a completely different experience, and yeah, we just really enjoyed it. We got to go to the wonder of the world, the Great Wall of China, and then Shanghai was one of the best cities we've ever visited. It was kind of like a mix of old historic European buildings with all these like completely modern areas and even like traditional historic Chinese places too. So yeah, just a really cool blend. And then another highlight was visiting the old towns near Shanghai, the old villages that are surrounded by all these canals, just extremely beautiful. And even Macau was interesting because we speak Portuguese since we're from Brazil, and there everything was kind of Portuguese.
Yeah, we could see all the signs, the names of the streets, everything on their language and also on Portuguese. So it was a very unique place.
Yeah, and even the buildings, they were all historic Portuguese buildings because the Portuguese were there in the past.
And after China, we wanted to take a break, relax a little bit, and we also wanted to start making our way west because we wanted to go to Europe, and we went to Sri Lanka. We have been to Sri Lanka before in 2019, the end of 2019. But we decided to go again. We had like a kind of a beach vacation, which we were working like on our computer, doing a lot of work, but also working out and surfing. So it was a very relaxing time. And we spent almost a month there, like 3 weeks or something. So it was really nice.
Yeah, and as we're traveling around, we're always trying to look out for places that would be good for like a vacation from the vacation. It's usually a time when we're not filming so much and we're just trying to work on other things, like Carol said, working out and just relaxing more. And Sri Lanka is definitely a good place for that, and we'll probably visit again to do the same thing. After Sri Lanka, we went to Qatar quickly. It was mainly just a layover, so we didn't end up filming a video, but we got to see a bit. And that was on our way to Rome in Italy. And just like Shanghai, this is definitely one of the best cities that we've ever visited. The history there, the amount of historic sites is just absolutely unbelievable. And obviously you have the Forum and the Colosseum, which once again is another wonder of the world. And that was actually our final wonder of the world to visit.
Yeah, so that's also an accomplishment that we got to have this year, which was to visit all the wonders of the world. We finished them all, the 7 ones.
Yeah, and that was a great one to finish, because obviously the Colosseum, we've been hearing about that all our lives. Even now they just released the film, right? What is it, Gladiator 2?
Yeah. Oh, and the food was always amazing too. We love pasta, we love wine, and all the meals that we were having were amazing, so that was also a plus.
And another pretty wild thing there was that we saw the Pope. So we went to the Vatican, which is considered its own country. And we didn't know, but we went there on some special day where the Pope was appearing. There was like an event for him. So we sat down, and then literally the Pope just drove past us waving, like probably like a meter away or something, 2 meters away. So never thought that we'd see the Pope.
Then we hopped to Croatia, which was also a place that we've been wanting to go for a long time. And it was beautiful. It was like probably some of the most beautiful coastlines we've ever seen. It was amazing. A bit expensive, or yeah, very expensive. Also because we went on like the peak summer season, so it is pricey, but it was really beautiful.
And it was probably one of the easiest places to make videos, because you visit the cities like Dubrovnik or Split, or even like the little cities, and there usually be like a variety of things to do already within that place. So you'd have like beaches, historic sites like forts and castles, sometimes like some mountainous viewpoints. You'd have all this stuff just packed into a small place. So for the videos, it was really great. And then after Croatia, we continued down the coastline into Montenegro. It was just a quick visit. We mainly stayed in the Bay of Kotor, which is probably one of the most incredible bays that we've ever seen. It might actually be the most incredible. It's a fjord, and just like Croatia, you still have the historic sites, the castles that you can see, and yeah, just an absolutely spectacular place. Easily one of the best places we visited in 2024.
Our next country was Malta, which was a place that Chris had visited before, but I haven't, so he wanted to take me there. And it was cool because when we got there, it wasn't so busy as the other places like Montenegro and Croatia, so it was more relaxing. Still tourists around, but it wasn't as busy as we would expect for summertime.
Yeah, Malta is pretty unique in the Mediterranean because of its Arab history and influence. So as you're going around, it actually looks more like you're in North Africa or the Middle East. All the buildings are kind of like sandy looking. Yeah, it just looks very different to other places that we've been in the Mediterranean. That's why I wanted to take Carol there. And the last place that we visited in Europe on that trip was the Canary Islands. They're actually geographically situated in Africa, just off the coast, but they belong to Spain. And we were really surprised by these islands because in England, I think it's known as more of a destination that like Brits go to get drunk and stuff, but we didn't really see any of that. We also went in the quiet season, so like July, even though it's the European summer, it's not when people go there. They go in the winter because the weather's still nice in the winter, so people escape the cold and go to the Canary Islands. So we were surprised to see that it was super affordable. Everything was kind of empty, and just the landscapes were something else. And it's really cool that within like 20 minutes you can go from the beach to like some village or some mountain viewpoint, just really quick driving. So that really surprised us. And we ended up going to, was it 2 islands?
3 islands.
3 islands, yeah. It was Tenerife, Fuerteventura,
And Gran Canaria.
and Gran Canaria.
Yeah.
So they're all like kind of similar, but they all have their differences too. So yeah, that was really cool.
And after traveling around so much in Europe, we decided to go to Brazil to take a break. And we spent 7 weeks there. We had some plans to visit some other areas of Brazil that we want to go, like Lençóis Maranhenses in the northeast. But Chris was sick, and we had so much things to do. Like we wanted to do some like doctor visits to just do the health checkups. Sometimes you guys ask if we do health checkups, and we do when we go to Brazil, just like blood tests and stuff like that. And we were very busy during the 7 weeks, so it ended up not being much of a rest or like a break because we had so much to do, and Chris was sick at the beginning. But it was good because we got to see family, we got to see friends, so it's always good to go to Brazil, especially in winter time.
Yeah, I had like some sort of chest infection that then became an ear infection. But then I passed it on to you. You got an ear infection. The same thing. Like Carol said, we had the flight booked to do stuff within Brazil, but we couldn't get on the flight because of the ear infection. It was like we were completely deaf, yeah. But we did do some things around Rio. We visited some regions that we'd never seen before, a place called Paraty Mirim, which was also really beautiful. And because it was the winter, not many people around, affordable too. We always like Rio in the winter there because there's not really a winter. It's still like 22 degrees Celsius, so it's like the perfect weather really. And then after that we visited one of our favorite regions in the world, which is the Caribbean. And the first country that we visited was Barbados, which ended up being one of our favorite in the Caribbean. There's just such a relaxed vibe there. It doesn't seem sketchy either. A lot of Caribbean islands that we go to, sometimes there are some areas that kind of seem a bit unsafe. We didn't really feel that in Barbados. Everyone was super friendly too. You're walking around, people are just saying like, hello, hope you're having a good stay on my islands. Things like that, which isn't so common in other countries, but yeah, basically all the time people are saying stuff like that. And then obviously because it's in the Caribbean, the beaches are absolutely beautiful with some other cool things like rum tasting. You can also visit some mountains. I think we went some like cave system there.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a really amazing country, and we'd easily visit there again.
Then we went to another amazing place in the Caribbean, which was St. Lucia. And for us, till now, we think it's the most stunning place in the Caribbean. And we only visited a small part of St. Lucia because since the island is so volcanic and the roads are not so good, we decided to stay in a small area, but it was amazing. I think it's called Soufrière.
Soufrière, something like that, yeah.
Just amazing. Like they have the two big mountains, which are called the Pitons, the Gros Piton and the Petit Piton. And yeah, we loved it.
Yeah, in terms of like scenery, it was the most stunning place that we've seen in the Caribbean. And they had like mud baths, things like that, that we don't usually get to do in a lot of Caribbean islands, so it's just pretty unique for that region. Then we visited Jamaica once again, our second time there. We really loved it when we visited last year in 2023. This time we just stayed in an all-inclusive in Ocho Rios called Sandals. And we were mainly just chilling at the all-inclusive, which is what the majority of people do at an all-inclusive. But we did get to go around to some beautiful waterfalls that we never visited before, some different places. So yeah, it was just a great relaxing trip.
And after Jamaica, we went to Trinidad and Tobago. And as you guys may know, we've mentioned this before, we were scared of going there because we were getting like messages of people saying that we shouldn't go since it's considered a dangerous place. But luckily we had a very good experience. We didn't have any issues whatsoever. We went to the main island, Trinidad, and then we went to Tobago, which was a very different vibe, super relaxing. But we loved both islands, and the food was also amazing. We loved the food.
Yeah, the main reason that we wanted to go there was because of the food, because a lot of the people that live there are originally from Indian ancestry. So they have like Indian kind of food, and Indian food is our favorite in the world. So we thought, whoa, cool, a Caribbean place with like Indian influenced food. And yeah, it definitely didn't disappoint. The food was absolutely delicious. And like Carol said about the safety, reading online, it's mainly just in the capital, the port of Spain, where there's some areas with gangs, but a lot of the tourist parts, don't have these gangs, so it's actually very chilled out, laid back. We then went on our second cruise together, which started from Miami, and that went to Jamaica once again, the Cayman Islands that we've never been to, Cozumel that we were visiting for the second time, and their own private island in the Bahamas. And yeah, we're still kind of new to cruising, but we do like it. It's a bit like an all-inclusive hotel where everything's just kind of like easy because the food and everything's there. And then obviously you're on the transport, right? So they're just taking it around, and it's pretty surreal just waking up every day in a completely new country. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and maybe we'll do that like once a year, like a cruise. We enjoy it.
Then we hopped over to Central America and we started in Guatemala, which was a place that we also wanted to go to, but I don't think we were like super excited about it. We were like, let's go and see how it is. But then when we got there, when we traveled around, we loved it. And it's one of our favorite places that we visited in 2024. Since we loved Mexico, it's a bit similar to Mexico, but we thought it was less touristy and more like authentic. And yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, that was the first time that we realized just how many volcanoes there are in Central America. Like, we went to a place, Lake Atitlan, where from our accommodation we could already see like 4 or 5. And we even climbed a volcano and saw a volcanic eruption for the first time in our lives. So that's obviously something that we'll never forget. And also something that we may never see again. I don't think I'll ever see an eruption that close again. And Carol said one of our favorite countries in 2024, but I'd actually go as far as saying Guatemala is one of our favorite countries ever that we visited.
Yeah, we keep adding countries to that list of our favorite countries. But yeah.
And then after Guatemala, we went down to El Salvador, which is now a place that's starting to pick up in tourism. Some of you may know that in the past there was like tremendous gang violence there, so people would avoid it. And now I think it's one of the safest places in the Americas. Like, the crime rates are really low, so a lot of people are going there. They're working on a lot of stuff, a lot of construction. But yeah, it was really cool. They also have the volcano. We visited a cool one there. Really relaxed beach vibe. It's more like surf towns and stuff. So we really enjoyed our quick time there.
From El Salvador, we went to the US, not to film anything, but just to take a break and see friends. Many of our friends just had babies, so we went to see them. It was supposed to be a break, but also like we were seeing a lot of people and hanging out with them, so it wasn't very relaxing, but it was good because we got to see our friends.
Yeah, so you're probably noticing now that when we try and take a break in places where we know people and we have family, it ends up not being a break. And sometimes it's actually more tiring than when we're traveling because we're like just doing stuff every day. Whereas when we're traveling, actually, a lot of the time, we're not doing stuff every day. Sometimes we just stay at home and we're editing, so we're not doing like physical activity. I know from these videos, a lot of people think we're just going like every day doing stuff, but yeah, we're really not. But then like a place like Sri Lanka where we don't know people, then it's more of a break because there's no one really to hang out with. And then after that, we went to the Dominican Republic for a week, mainly to meet our friends, Anna and Trevor, the Delightful Travelers, or the YouTubers. And we were planning on making a video or two with them. But once again, I got kind of sick. Actually, the whole group was a bit sick at some points. Yeah, there's some weird thing going around, like a bit of a flu. And there was just crazy rains. Our place flooded. So the weather was terrible pretty much every day. So we just ended up not making a video, but we're still relaxing. We go out with them, drinking and stuff, so we still got to hang out, so that was really cool.
We then went to Colombia to do a very different experience, and which was one of our favorite things in 2024. We went to Cartagena, and we did see Cartagena. It was really cool. We need to go back to Colombia to travel around properly, but we went to Cartagena to get on a boat, and we did a sail trip from Colombia to Panama. So it was really cool. We went to some very off-the-grid islands in Panama, the San Blas Islands. It was a very different and unique experience.
And then after that, we went to another set of islands, Bocas del Toro, which was the last place in the Americas that we stayed. and very different to the other group of islands, the Sandblast Islands. On this one, it was more like populated, more tourists around, more built up, but still just like super laid back. Also got to see a lot of wildlife there. So yeah, really surprising place. We didn't know Panama had such good beaches, so a really good beach destination. And the last experience of the year was our first time on a business class flight with Turkish Airlines. So we went from Panama to Portugal, but through Turkey first, so to Istanbul. It was actually two business flights. And yeah, it was such a good experience. Obviously, you're paying quite a lot, but yeah, it was just really good having like an actual bed on a plane. We don't sleep very well on planes in the seated position, so yeah, this was like literally a bed, and we just went to sleep straight away. Slept like babies. They actually had to wake us up in the morning to tell us that breakfast was ready. And also, we purposely included a full day in Istanbul, one of the best cities in the world. We have been there a few years ago, so we wanted to visit again. Last time was in summer, so this time was in winter. It was very different, more relaxed, not so many people. Weather was also very nice. And the last time we went, the Blue Mosque, the famous Blue Mosque, was under construction. So now it's almost complete and we got to see it properly. And we also got to visit some other places that we hadn't been to before, like the Cistern. So that was cool too. And then after that, we arrived in Portugal in the Algarve, where we are right now. The majority of Christmases and New Year's, we come here to spend it with my parents. And this time we'll probably make one video. We are planning on doing that. So hopefully that will be the next video.
Now we're gonna briefly mention the lows of our year. One was to get sick a few times. You had some like ear infection problems more than once, so that was not good. And that also kind of messed up with our plans in Brazil and also in the Dominican Republic. So yeah, getting sick is not good, never good. I also had some weird allergic reaction in Croatia that I don't know what caused it until now, so that wasn't fun at all.
Yeah, usually I don't have this problem with my ears so often. I think this year it was like 4 or 5 times. When I'd get like hay fever allergies in Japan and in Rome, it would end up becoming an ear infection. So yeah, I think it did happen 4 or 5 times. But on a positive note, we never had like food poisoning or anything, because I think in the previous years we get that sometimes. You might have had some mild ones.
Yeah, mild, but yeah, usually taking activated charcoal helps me. But I did have like 1 day, 2 day, but not the bad ones that we used to have sometimes in the past.
Yeah, I don't think I got anything really. And then the other lows were not really like big deals, but obviously the tsunami warning in Japan was scary. A tsunami didn't happen, by the way. It was just like a warning, but I think it was the first warning that region had had in like over 10 years, so it was very serious. Like literally, like the locals were escaping to the mountains and stuff, so we actually thought waves were gonna come and that was gonna be crazy.
We were on a boat,
Yeah.
so like in the middle of the ocean, so it was very scary. And then in Dominican Republic we had the flooding. Yeah, so those were kind of scary situations, which are not good to have.
And then besides that, just the visa immigration issue in Mozambique. Luckily, not a lot of bad stuff happens to us on our travels. Been traveling full-time 5 years.
We are kind of laid-back people and easygoing, so not a lot of things usually makes us feel sad or angry. So yeah, that helps too. Now we are going to talk about the highs, and we're gonna start about the best experiences that we had in 2024. And the first one was the self-drive safari in Namibia. It was really cool. You also got sick.
Yeah, I think that was the first time I got sick. But it's the same thing again, some like weird like infection. I don't know.
Yeah, but it was, other than the sickness, it was really good because we got to see many animals. And it was just something unique for us. As I mentioned before, our first ever safari, so it was really cool.
Yeah, we got to like camp on top of the truck or the vehicle, whatever it was, so we never done that before. And then another top experience was going to a Japanese onsen. So when we were in Kusatsu, we went quite a few times actually. You can't really film in the onsens. We did book a private one with our family though, like a mini one, so got footage of that. But yeah, that was just a really cool experience too.
Another one that you guys may already know was the volcano hike, which was very, very tough and hard, but it was amazing because we actually got to see the volcano erupting, like the lava. So it was an unforgettable experience.
And the last highlight was the Caribbean sailing that we just mentioned. And for our favorite countries in 2024, we probably go for Morocco, Japan, Barbados, St. Lucia, and Guatemala. My top two probably being Japan and Guatemala. I don't know yours.
Yeah, yeah.
Yours
Same
too?
for me. Same for me. And for cities and regions, our favorites were Dadvley in Namibia, Cape Peninsula in South Africa, Tokyo and Kusatsu in Japan, Shanghai in China, Weligama in Sri Lanka, Rome in Italy,
Plitvice in Croatia, Kotor Bay in Montenegro, Canary Islands in Spain, Parachi-Mirim in Brazil, Sofre in St. Lucia, Lake Atitlan in Guatemala, and the San Blas Islands in Panama. So we're really happy with the places that we visited in 2024. To be honest, almost every country that we visited every year, we always like things. There's always like pros and cons, I guess, but the majority, yeah, we enjoy. Never really been to a country that we like hated or anything like that. And in 2025, we still have many more new countries coming up. We're also going to revisit some that we really like, but do some different things. Yeah, but we'll have a lot of new ones. Also want to visit some new regions too. So yeah, that'll be coming up.
And once again, thank you guys for the support and yeah, just watching our videos and commenting and liking and sharing. It's always a very good help for us. And we are also very happy with Jumping Places. In 2024, we can still make videos and still travel. So that's down to you guys watching and supporting.
Yeah, and that also allows us to plan for the next year too. Allows us to make more videos and continue having this lifestyle. So hopefully you had a good year and hopefully you're gonna have a great 2025 too. As always, stay tuned for the next videos and have a good one.
Bye.